Hello dear students, welcome back to the science class. Dear students, in the previous video class we were studying about the acid, bases and salt. Yes, we studied already the acids we studied. Yes, the concept of acid we studied. In that we learned the properties of acids, the definition of an acid, and next we learned the types of the acids we learned and the uses of acids we learned. Okay, next we learned the concept of bases. Yes, we learned the concept of bases. Yes, in the last video we have learned about the bases. We learned what are the bases. They are generally bitter. Okay, the substance which are bitter to taste and have a basic ingredient, and their solutions are basic in a nature. Yes, they are basic, they have a basic ingredients and their solutions are basic in nature and they are bitter in a taste. Okay, see dear students, you can observe one point I have mentioned, that bases we can where we can see in household things only. Yes, we are in the uses of the bases I have mentioned. Yes, in the household works we are using these bases. Yes, like it may be vanish. Yes, I have mentioned phenyls. Yes, that also, these all are the household things. Yes, these are in this base is present, we can say. Okay, then we learned some of the properties of bases we learned. Yes, how the what is the property of a bases? Just I am reminding you all: slippery to touch, bitter to taste, conduct electricity, and few bases are water soluble, nothing but they are alkalis. Yes, one term I have explained, what is alkalis, which are soluble bases which are soluble in a water are called alkalis. Okay, few bases are not water soluble. Okay, few of the bases will not soluble in a water. Dear students, these are the some of the properties of the bases. These all the things we studied in a previous video. Okay, today's concept we'll see, that is indicators. Okay, what is an indicator then? See here, indicators are a special type of a substance and are used to test whether a substance is acidic or a basic. Yes, how we will come to know that any given substance is acidic or it is a basic? Okay, to identify that one we are using here indicators. Okay, why we are using the indicator here? To identify whether the given substance is acidic or a basic. These substances are known as indicators. The indicators change their color when added to a solution containing an acidic or a basic substance. See, whenever we add these indicators to any of the solution, it will change their color. Okay, by whatever the color will appear, no, on that we will identify whether the given substance is acidic or basic in nature. See, turmeric, litmus, china rose, petals, etc. are some of the naturally occurring indicators. Okay, these are the some of the naturally occurring indicators. These are, okay, see here, substances which on mixing with other substance causes a change in their color are called what? Indicators. So the definition of indicators is substance which on mixing with the other substances. Okay, when you mix the substance with the another substance, they will change their color. For such we are calling the indicators. Okay, see here, they are taking a, see here the color of the substance is, first it was in a yellow, then when they put the indicator, it has changed to a orange color. Why? Yes, they have put here indicator, so it is converted to orange color. Okay, this is about the indicators. See dear students, you can observe some of the naturally occurring indicators here. First one is a turmeric. Yes, in our daily cooking, yes, we will use this turmeric powder. This is a turmeric powder, haldi we say. Yes, haldi powder. Okay, next one is a litmus, it is available. Okay, litmus papers, one red litmus will be having and one more is blue color litmus. In the laboratory we are using this litmus paper to test whether the given substance is acid or a base. By using this litmus paper we are doing the test here in the laboratory. Okay, litmus paper we call this one. Okay, next one is the china rose petals. See, the china rose petals will be like this. Okay, these are the naturally occurring indicators. Next one is a synthetic occurring indicators. You can observe here how the these synthetic indicators are nothing but these are artificially prepared. Okay, in a laboratory they will prepare these indicators. Okay, how they are preparing in the laboratory, they are preparing these artificial, nothing but a synthetic indicators. Synthetic also we can use, or even we can tell artificial indicators also. Okay, see some of the common synthetic indicators are here. First one is a phenolphthalein, what we call here phenolphthalein. Okay, next one is a methyl orange. Next one is a it is a bromothymol blue. Bromothymol blue. Okay, for your study purpose we will learn today about a phenolphthalein and one more is a methyl orange. Okay, we will study about these two indicators which are synthetic indicators. Okay, see, as I have told some of the naturally occurring indicators. Okay, see, I will tell in a short how the what litmus paper, how it will be used, then turmeric, what will happen when we put it in acid, when we put in a base, then what is the color of that acid, what is the color of that base, we will study here now. Okay, see here, first we will take a litmus paper. Okay, I have two litmus paper, that one first one is a red color, one more is a blue. Okay, blue litmus and red litmus. See, when you take a blue litmus and put it in a base, okay, blue color litmus paper you are taking and you are putting in a base solution, then what it will happen, the blue color litmus will remain blue only. Yes, okay, it will remain blue only. Okay, then if you take a blue color litmus and you put it in a acid, then that blue color litmus paper will turn into red color. See, you can observe here that blue color litmus paper has changed to here red color. So what you have to say that time, it is a acid. When you take a blue color litmus paper and put it in a acid, okay, that it will turn to red. Okay, you think that only they have given one liquid in your hand. Okay, by seeing the you can't taste all the solutions. Okay, because some of the liquids may be poisonous. Okay, I have told that seeing the taste we can identify whether it is acid or a base, but we can't taste all the solutions. Why? Some of the solutions may contain a poison. Okay, so we are using here litmus paper. Okay, think that I have given one of the liquid in your hand. Okay, tell whether it is a acid or a base. Okay, I will give a litmus paper also, just to take that blue color litmus paper and just you put it in that liquid. If it turns to a red, then it is a, what we have to tell, it is a acid. Acid is present in that liquid. Okay, take a red color litmus paper. Okay, and put it in that liquid. Then if the red color litmus paper turns to a blue, then we have to say that base is present in this liquid. Okay, if the red color litmus paper remains red in that liquid, then acid is present, we have to say here. Dear students, don't get confusion, just go through the image here. Okay, I have taken a blue litmus and I have placed in a base, then blue color litmus doesn't change here, then base is present. If you take the same blue colored litmus paper in the acid, then it turns to a red color, then we have to say that acid is present here. Next, you take a red color litmus paper and put it in a acid. The red color litmus paper will remain red in acidic medium. But if you put it in a base, then it will turn to a blue color. Okay, this is about the litmus paper, how we are using for the testing purpose, whether the given solution is a acidic or a basic, how we are using the litmus paper to identify acid or a base. Okay, we will see the next one, turmeric. Okay, see, turmeric, okay, what you do, take a turmeric powder, okay, make it a solution of a turmeric powder. Okay, put a water and make it is a turmeric solution. Just to take a little quantity of turmeric and put it in a water, then it will become a turmeric solution. Okay, first you put that turmeric solution in a acid. Take any of the acid and put the turmeric solution in a acid. If you put the turmeric solution in acid, the color of the turmeric powder, that solution will not change. Color of the turmeric solution will not change in a acidic medium. But if you put it in a basic solution, okay, if you put the turmeric solution in a basic medium, then the color will change to what here? The color of the turmeric juice turns to red. Okay, when in the presence of a base, if the base is present, then it will change to a red. So what happened here? The turmeric juice turns red in the presence of a base. But the turmeric solution remains yellow color in the acidic medium. Yes, dear students, this is about the turmeric powder. Okay. Next we will see about the China rose. Okay, China rose petals also I have given you. See, first China rose petals when soaked in a warm water for a while makes a water colored. Okay, so what you do, take a solution of a China rose. Okay, you place some of the China rose petals in a warm water. Okay, what it will become? The water will color. It makes a water colored. This colored water may be used as an indicator that water color, whatever that rose petal we have placed, that it will change the color, that we can use it as an indicator, they are telling here. Okay, this indicator turns acidic solutions to dark pink. Okay, when if you place this China rose, okay, see that China rose petals solution will be red in a color. If you put it in an acidic medium, if you put the China rose solution in a acidic medium, it turns to which color? It turns to a pink color, dark pink we say that. One more is a magenta, okay, dark pink color it is. Okay, if you put that China rose solution in a base, then it will turn to a green color. Remember, the China rose petal solution, if you put it in acid, it will convert to a dark pink. Then you have to say that acid is present in this solution. If you put that China rose solution in a base, then it will turn to a green color. Okay, then base is present. Okay, you have to remember this. By putting in acid which color and by putting in a base which color it will turn. Okay, this is about the naturally occurring indicators. Next we will study about the synthetic indicators. Nothing but artificially prepared, which the synthetic indicators they are preparing in laboratories. Okay, see, two we will study here. One is a phenolphthalein and one more is a methyl orange. See, this phenolphthalein will be colorless. Okay, it is a colorless in a liquid. Okay, it is colorless indicator we can say. Okay, it will look like a water only. Water is also colorless here. So, this phenolphthalein also it is a colorless indicator. Okay, if you put this phenolphthalein indicator in an acid, it will be colorless only. Okay, if you put it in a base, then it will change to a pink color. Okay, when you place a phenolphthalein indicator in acid, the color of the acid will not change, it will be colorless only. Okay, see, if we are doing a test, think that if you are doing a test, yes, I have given the phenolphthalein indicator in your hand and one of the liquid I have given in your hand. Which liquid, whether it is acid or base, test whether it is acid or base. Okay, phenolphthalein indicator also is there, and in one test tube we are having that one liquid also is there. Take that phenolphthalein indicator and just put a few drops of that phenolphthalein indicator in the liquid. If you after putting the phenolphthalein indicator in the liquid, the color, if it remains colorless only, then acid is present, you have to tell. Okay, if it turns to a pink color, okay, when you have added that phenolphthalein indicator to the liquid and the liquid of the color, if it changed to a pink color, then you have to say that base is present in this liquid. Okay, this is about the phenolphthalein indicator. See, next one is a methyl orange. It is an orange pink colored indicator. How it is orange color, you can observe here. Methyl orange is an orange pink colored indicator. Okay, when you play, okay, I think that I have given one of the liquid in your hand and methyl orange I have given the indicator. Test whether the given liquid is a acid or a base. Okay, just you take a methyl orange and put few drops of a methyl orange in the liquid. If it turns to a red color, okay, if it turns to a red color, then what happens? What happens? Acid is present. Okay, see here, which is a orange in acidic medium and yellow in a basic medium. Like it is orange red only it is. Okay, if this methyl orange turns to a orange red color, okay, then acid is present, you have to say. If it turns to a yellow color, think that if it turns to a yellow color, then you have to say that in the given liquid base is present, you have to tell. Dear students, I hope you have understood how to identify acid and a base by using these indicators. Okay, we have studied some of the naturally occurring indicators also. Litmus papers, turmeric and China rose indicator. And synthetic indicators we learnt phenolphthalein and methyl orange. Okay, I hope you have cleared this one. Next concept will move, that is a neutralization. What is a neutralization then? When an acid reacts with a base, salt and water is formed. Yes, what is formed? Salt. However, we are getting the salt when when acid reacts. Any acid reacts with a base, then we are getting what? Salt and water. Such reactions between acid and bases are called neutralization reaction. Okay, whatever the reaction is taking place between the acid and the bases, such reactions we are calling a neutralization reaction. Acid plus base gives salt plus water here. Take any of the acid, sulfuric acid, that is a H2SO4, plus base you take, that is a, one more is sodium hydroxide. NaOH is a base, H2SO4 is a acid. Okay, sulfuric acid plus sodium hydroxide. What we got? Sodium sulfate salt we have got here. Which salt we got here? Sodium sulfate. Plus water also we got here. For this what we call neutralization reaction. Whatever the reaction has taken place here, for that we are calling here neutralization reaction. Okay. See how the neutralization reaction will take place. Okay, I have taken here. Okay, that is here in this test tube, hydrochloric acid is present. HCl. H stands for hydrogen. Cl stands for chlorine. Nothing but hydrochloric acid. Okay, that which is in a pink color. And I have taken one more base. That is NaOH. Sodium hydroxide. NaOH stands for sodium hydroxide, which is in a blue color. In this test tube I have taken a hydrochloric acid and one more test tube I have taken NaOH base. Okay, when I both put it in one of the flask, okay, acid plus base, what it will give? Salt plus water it will give. Here, see here, HCl plus NaOH, what it will give? It will give a sodium chloride salt. Which salt? See here, from this sodium and from this Cl, what is left? See here, what is left here? One H left and here OH left. Nothing but here one H is there, hydrogen is there, here one hydrogen is there. Hydrogen plus hydrogen, H2 it will become. 2 times H is there. Okay, so H2 here, H2 and one more, only one oxygen is left. So H2O stands for what? Water here. Dear students, see, try to understand this one here. Once again I will explain here. See what I have taken, HCl, nothing but a hydrochloric acid I have taken, plus NaOH base I have taken. So what they told, salt plus water it will form. So just to remove the water, what is the water form, chemical form? That is a H2O we are representing. Okay, so you just remove 2 H and 1 oxygen. Here one H is present and here one H is present. Nothing but it will become here H2 and 1 oxygen I have removed, H2O. We have got the water now, H2O. Next, what is left now? Remaining. Here Na left and here Cl left. So what we write? First we write sodium chloride we will form. Nothing but NaCl. Sodium chloride is one of the salt. Sodium chloride is one of the salt. And water is H2O. This is a neutralization reaction. I hope you have cleared. Okay. Next we will see about the salt. Salt is a compound formed by the neutralization of an acid with a base. Salt is what it is? It is a compound. How it is? From where we are getting that compound? Which is formed by the neutralization of an acid and a base. When the neutralization reaction takes place between an acid and a base, we are getting one of the compound, that is a salt. Okay. A salt contains a positively charged ion. What it contains, that salt? It contains the positively charged ion, an atom which has an electrical charge. Okay. Positively charged ion is nothing but here it is an atom which has an electrically charge called a cations. Okay. Nothing but a positively charged ions are cations. Negatively charged ions we are calling as anions. Remember dear students here, okay, what is a cation and what is a anion? Cations are nothing but here the ions which are positively charged ions are called the cations, negatively charged ions are called the anions. These two are important terms. So try to remember, don't get confusion here. What is a cation and what is a anion? Okay, the anion is contributed by the acid and the cation is contributed by the base. Okay, from where we are getting these cations and anions? From the acid we are getting cations. Yes, from the anion is contributed by the acid. Sorry, here from the acid we are getting anions and from the base we are getting cations here. Okay, salts are named on the basis of the name of their cation contributed by the base and the anion contributed by the acid. Okay, we will see some of the salt, cations and anions also. Sodium carbonate is one of the salt. Here sodium is a cation and carbonate is a anion, which is, this is from a base. Sodium is from a base, as cations from the base I have told. Okay, and anions from the acid. Carbonate is a acid here. Sorry, carbonate is a anion. From acid we have got this carbonate. Potassium nitrate. Potassium is a cation, base, and nitrate is a acid. Okay. Copper chloride. Copper is a base here and chloride is a acid here. Copper we are getting from a cations and a chloride we are getting from anions. Okay, like that we have ammonium chloride also and ammonium sulfate also. So go through this chart to try to remember the name of the salt. Name the salt. Some salt, if they tell, you have to give the salt. Name some of the acids. What is the acid? Give example. What is the base? Give example. Then what is the salt? Give example. Dear students, you should be able to tell the example for the acid also, for the base also, and even for the salt also. I hope you have cleared with this concept, salt. When we are getting a salt, when acid, see here, when acid mixes with the base, then what we are getting? We are getting salt plus water we are getting. For this, whatever the reaction is taking place, for this we are calling it as a neutralization reaction. Okay. Next we will see about the preparation of a salt. Salts can be prepared by the following reactions. By the reaction between acid and a base. For example, common salt is prepared by the reaction between sodium hydroxide and a hydrochloric acid. Common salt is nothing but whatever we are using in our day-to-day life. That, okay, how it is prepared? By reaction between a sodium hydroxide, that is NaOH, and hydrochloric acid, that is HCl. Yes, I have given this example by showing the picture. Yes, that time we are getting a common salt here. Common salt is nothing but we are using in a day-to-day life for a tasty purpose. Yes, we will put the salt in our food. Okay. By the reaction between an acid and a metal, in this reaction, the metal displaces hydrogen from the acid to form a salt. The salts may be defined as a compound formed by replacing a hydrogen from an acid by a metal here. Okay. This is about how they are preparing a salts. Next we will see the properties of a salts. What are the properties then? Salts are colored and or colorless solids. They will be in a solid form. See here, sodium chloride, that is NaCl. Yes, from the neutralization reaction I have removed NaCl salt, yes, that it looks like this. NaCl will be like this, so it is colorless salt. See, some salts are colored and some may be colored or they may be colorless. They generally have a high melting and a boiling points. Yes, they have a high melting and a boiling points. Usually they are soluble in a water. See, salts are soluble in a water. They are colorless, they are soluble in a water, they have a high melting points and a boiling point. And one more, in a molten state as well as in aqueous state, salts conduct electricity, and salts, they will conduct electricity. These are the some of the properties of a salt. In a simple way you remember, they are colorless, okay, then they have a high melting point and a boiling point, and they are soluble in a water, and in a aqueous and in a molten state they conduct electricity here. Okay, these are the some of the properties of salts. Next, following are the different uses of salts. We will see the uses here. Sodium bicarbonate. Okay, sodium bicarbonate is commercially known as a baking soda. Commercially we are calling that sodium bicarbonate as a baking soda. Yes, we all will use a baking soda. In a bakery also they will use a baking soda. Yes, see, it is used in a bakery as it releases a carbon dioxide gas on baking, which makes cakes, pastries and bread fluffy. Yes, why the cakes, breads will be fluffy? Because it makes that, so by putting that baking soda it makes fluffy. Yes, it releases a carbon dioxide, okay, gas on baking, which makes a cakes, pastries and breads fluffy. Okay, it is also used to neutralize ants strings which contains a formic acid. Okay, sodium carbonate is used as a washing soda. Sodium bicarbonate is a baking soda where they are using in a bakeries, yes, to make cakes, bread and pastries fluffy. And sodium carbonate, this is the first one we studied, bicarbonate it is, now it is a sodium only carbonate it is. Sodium carbonate is used as a washing soda in a detergents for washing and cleaning things. See, for washing purpose and cleaning purpose, whatever the detergents we are using, no, in that sodium carbonate is present. Okay, yes, in your home also your mothers will be using the detergents for washing the clothes. Okay, in that which salt is present? Sodium carbonate salt is present. Okay, whenever you are having a bread or a cake, okay, that bread will be fluffy. Okay, think that why it is fluffy? Because sodium bicarbonate is present. Okay, that is baking soda they have put. So it is a fluffy. Okay, you have to think like this and try to remember the terms here. Next we will see soaps and its preparation. Soaps are sodium salts of vegetable oils with sodium hydroxide. They are prepared by heating vegetable oil with sodium hydroxide and then adding common salt solution to separate a soap from solution. Okay, soaps are used for a cleaning purposes. See what they will do in the continuous process. Natural fat is split into a fatty acids and a glycerin here. Okay, molten fat it is, here fatty acid and glycerin will release. Next, purified fatty acids are mixed with the alkali to form a soap. Okay, these fatty acids they will mix with the alkali to form a soap here. Next, what will happen? The soap is poured into the molds or allowed to harden in a large slab. Okay, like this one large slab will be there, in that they will pour the molds, soap they will pour in a molds. How they will put in a cake, in a cake molds, same way in a soap molds they will put to make it as a hard and a large. Okay, the next one what will happen? The milled soap is pressed into a cylinder and extruded. Okay, next what will happen? See here, toiletry soap is put through a milling process. Perfumes are added at this time. Okay, next they will put like this and they will add the perfumes to get the what smell. Okay, see here, it is one of the continuous process. Okay, molten fat it is. See what they will do? Natural fat is split into a fatty acid and glycerin. They will take a natural fat. Natural fat they will take, they will put it Okay, then what it will split into fatty acid and glycerin, it will split. Okay, next what they will do, they will these fatty acids are mixed with the alkali. Okay, these fatty acids, they are, see, fatty acid will come here, next they will put here alkali, they are putting here, then whatever this mixture will be na, they will pour into the molds here. Okay, soap molds, then you will get like this soap, and they will put a perfume for that one to get the smell. Like the soaps are prepared here. Dear students, with this concept we have completed this acid, base and a salt chapter. So watch the videos, and if you have any doubt you can contact me and we'll discuss your doubts in our live interaction classes. So watch the videos. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye.